Hey there, it's Laura here again and welcome to another Saturday STEM Day carding video. So in today's video, I'm going to start out with a stencil from William Walter and I'm going to create a lovely background with some squeezed lemonade distress ink. My first original idea for this card was totally different than how it turned out in the end. At first I wanted my full note card to be covered with this pattern, so that's why I masked off the edges of my note cards. I didn't end up doing that anyway, so just skip that step and just randomly put your stencil on your cardstock and start blending the background. So I'm using the Surfed Up stamp set from Create a Smile Stamps, and I'm going to stamp this hippo onto some Copic-friendly cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Then I'm going to use that little fruit stamp and I'm going to stamp it onto the cardstock as well. And I think that fruit looks just so delicious and yummy and fresh, so I really wanted to use it for this card. Going to color the hippo, and I'm using the N2 marker to add my first layer of shading. Then I'm using the N1 marker to blend that darkest color out. And as you can see, I'm kind of switching up my coloring technique. So I'm starting out with my darkest color this time, and then I'm working my way to my lightest color. I just watched a lot of Copic marker tutorials on YouTube lately because I just really want to improve my coloring skills, so there we go. So when after I blended that out with the NO marker, I'm going back with my N2 marker and I'm just going to add a little bit more shading here and there. Then for that little towel, I'm using the RV14 marker and then I'm blending that out with the RV13. So I'm using my darkest color to add my shading first, then blending with the lightest color, and then finally I always go back in with my darkest color. So for the little bow, I'm doing this exact same thing, except I'm just using different colors. So I use BG11 for my shading and BG10 as my blending color or blender. Yeah, blender. Okay, so now it's time to color the fruit. I am going to use YG25 to add some shading to those apples, and then I'm using YG23 to blend it out, and then I'm going back in with the YG25 to add some extra shading. Then for the bananas, I am using Y13 as my darkest color to add the shading, and then I'm using Y000 to blend it all out. Then for the watermelon, I'm using RV09 to add my shading, and then I'm blending it out with the RV06. I also wanted to thank you actually for leaving such nice comments in my previous video, because I just had my wisdom teeth removed last week and you were all so kind and supportive. I'm doing a lot better. My face isn't swollen anymore. I can eat normal again. I can talk again. So it's just really great. I'm really happy that that's all over. That's all in the past. So I'm really glad to be making cards again and to make lots of videos for you. So I'm going to adhere my little hippo and that fruit to a circle, and I like that circle out of that stencil background that I made in the beginning of this video. So I'm going to adhere that fruit with some foam adhesive and with some of the Tombow Mono multi-glue. I wanted my sentiment banner to match with the towel from that hippo. So I didn't have any cardstock that matched with that towel. So I'm just going to use this Copic marker. This is the RV13 marker. And I'm just going to use that broad tip and I'm going to color my cardstock with it to create a matching banner. I also tried out the darker color, as you can see, but I ended up using the lightest color. So I'm adding some kitchen flour to that just to remove any cling. You can also use a powder tool or this little powder bag. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment with some Versamark ink, and I'm going to sprinkle my favorite white embossing powder from Wow on my sentiment. And then I'm going to use my heat tool to melt that embossing powder, and I'm also going to cut a little edge so I can have a really fun and playful banner. Going to adhere that banner to that circle with some Tombow Mono multi-glue. And I actually didn't really know how to build this card, so I just started building this circle, and then the rest of the card just I kind of improvised it while I was filming. I don't really start out with a sketch or like a fixed idea in my head when I start to film, so lots of things change. But this time I just really didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to use this Surfed Up stamp set, and that was it. So, but I think it turned out really cute. So I'm going to use these chipboard flowers, and I've had these for a really long while. I don't know where I got these from, but I'm going to adhere them to my card over there with some multimedia matte, and I'm just going to apply that with my finger, and then I use the quick stick from We Are Memory Keepers just to remove that glue here and there. And then finally, I'm adhering some sequins here and there. These are the sequins on the Fruit Sorbet sequin mix from Lucy's cards. So that's it for this week's Saturday Sunday carding video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check my blog post for more information, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye!